What's going on, guys? It is your boy Cash, and today we are going to do a video because it was my birthday, August 1st. I am now 30 years old, so I'm here today in front of you on your computer, your mobile device, your device of mobile, your TV, your VT, whatever the hell you got going on. And I'm going to discuss some things that have been on my chest. Actually, like more on my head than on my chest. That's not important. Anyway, I wanted to actually just make another video because turning 30 means a lot to other people that's not me. I don't know. When it comes down to age, I really don't care too much about my age, but age does give wisdom, and that's just because the longer you are alive, the more shit you go through. And with that being said, the wiser you become, you make a bunch of mistakes, you have a bunch of successful things that go on in your life, and then eventually you end up with age. So being 30, I've learned a lot. So I wanted to maybe go over some of the things that I've learned, and maybe some of the things that I've realized or anything of that nature, because I have no idea what kind of format I'm going with this video besides me talking off my ass and probably editing and being annoyed by my own beautiful habits that I always hate to edit because of stupid stuff that I like to say on a consistent basis. First thing I wanted to talk about was obviously my channel. I always bring this up because it's actually the biggest passion that I have. It's not just my YouTube channel, but also Twitch in general. Though I have not been streaming on Twitch as much, I still really like YouTube. I do like the idea of content creation. I love being an entertainer. I love being what they like to call now an influencer. It's like this fancy word. You influence people. Be responsible. But, you know, at the end of the day, I really always have to own up to that. Like, I know that my words, what I say, can help, harm, and influence other people to do certain things or to think a certain way. You know, not that, you know, that kind of is, that sounds dangerous, right? But I am up to it. I like the fact that when I say something that someone will listen to it and take it somewhat seriously, or when I make a joke, someone will listen to it and laugh or think it's crappy. I'm up to that. And after being on this earth for 30 years, 30 long years, you know, after a while, you just kind of like, it's kind of inevitable. Even if I wasn't specifically on a platform doing it, when you're talking with friends and family and coworkers that you love or hate, you know, people are going to take your word for it. That's pretty much what that is. Just that after a while, you realize that some people go the extra step in their life with it. One thing that I wanted to bring up in this video was my friend's dad. I was inspired by this man, and I get inspired by a lot of things. I feel like so many people focus on negative things in their life, and if you actually stop and just look at like the crazy positive influences around you, you actually would, I don't know, feel you'll have a better mindset. But my friend's dad, I'm not gonna say who the friend is, but as soon as I mention this, he's gonna know who the hell I'm talking about. My friend's dad is a pastor. He is a pastor. Now, he recently retired. I wanted to actually do a video on it, but I was a little bitch, so I didn't do it because I didn't really know how I wanted to format it. But as age, as wisdom, now I am 30, I can do videos on my friend's dad. But one of the things that I wanted that really amazed me is that he was a pastor and he retired as a pastor. Take it religion completely out of the context of everything, because obviously he's a pastor, he's religious, XYZ. But one thing that I would like to make a mention of is that this man, his life, his entire life was being a pastor. Like, he formulated his entire life about spreading the word of God. Now, like I said, regardless if you're religious or not, it is amazing that there is a career, there is a path for a man that simply wants to speak and exercise his beliefs. That's all a pastor does. He's at church, he's saying what he thinks about the Bible, he's telling it to other people, he's living through the example from the Bible that he specifically has. That is what he does. I spent so much time with this man, and I've been around his family, and that's all he does. That is his life. And it goes to show you that, you know, it's not really supposed to be, well, he made money out of it. It sounds dirty when you say it like that, like the pastor made money out of it. but he did. He made a career, a successful life, you know, that he's currently living. He retired, you know. You never hear like this YouTuber retired or this, you know, this streamer retired or anything like that. But it's amazing to me. And I think that it's important to note that a lot of people And I don't, like I said, he's not the only one I take inspiration out of, but that is specific because a lot of being a pastor is just speaking on what your beliefs are. A lot of it is providing action and proof of what your beliefs are. A lot of, like, to me, that is like kind of cool, because when you break it down, is that this man was able to manifest so much by being himself and by showing himself to others. That is something that I think, as far as content creation, a lot of people, they don't understand, you know, how people make money, how people want to do entertainment or something like that. It is the same thing. There's very little differences from, if you break it down to like the simplest form, right? As far as the pastor, from the teacher, from the rapper, from the singer, from the content creator, the gamer, the professional gamer, the hairdresser, the barber. A lot of these people believe in something deeply in their soul, deep. They believe in it so much that they want to make their life around it. And I've said this before, maybe not in video, but like even the people that work jobs that they don't even like, they have something, they want to exercise something that's more important to them than the job that they're working. Some people, like myself, I want to have my life surrounded and engulfed into, you know, gaming and being an entertainer. But there are other people that their life is like, maybe it's something about their family. They're more concerned about one or the other thing, or there's more immediate things that are important. So they focus on that, and whatever can help them with that is what they do. Sometimes that's how criminals are made. You know, sometimes you gotta rob a bank, but you know what I'm saying. I hope you understand what I'm saying, is that that's why I was so inspired by that. He recently just retired, and you see all these people, you know, I had never been to a retirement party before. You see all these people just like, you know, giving him such high praise. And then I was sitting there, I was thinking like, all this man does is talk about God. And like I said, has nothing to do with religion, but it's just like, it's amazing that you see this person that stuck through with his beliefs, spoke on it, acted on it, and made a life on it. So that is what I am trying to do. I'm speaking on it, I'm acting on it, and I'm gonna make it somewhat of my lifestyle, so that when I retire or get too old or too sickly or anything like that, you will know that this is what I wanted to do. And you know, regardless of how successful or unsuccessful it is, because I'm pretty sure that there's 20 billion people that wanted to be a pastor, that want to be a rapper, that want to be a entertainer, that want to be a barber, hair salon, like all that stuff that I named before. Everybody probably wants to do that to a certain degree, but some people are going to be more hungry for it. Some people have better opportunities for it, and you got to take advantage of every little thing that you can. Second thing that I wanted to hit the nail on, or hit the nail on the head or whatever like that, I'm too old. I don't remember half of the. Yeah, I can say that now. Yeah, I'm 30, even though I think at 40 that's when you're considered like old as a guy. But you know, I'm too old to remember half these things. But one of the things that I also wanted to mention is just being less angry. I feel like one of the things that people have told me that I'm really good with is dealing with bullshit. I've most of my life, if you guys don't know, I've been always in a financial struggle. That's why it's kind of funny that my nickname is Cash, but I usually am broke within like a year's time. Something of that nature. There's always some type of issue that I always run into. Me leaving a job, or my job somewhat screwing me over or something like that. There's nothing new to me. And I just got into the habit of just like, well, you know, that's just what it is. This is not, you know, what I want to specifically do. I'm just doing that. What do they call it? Ends to a means to an end. And that's where I started to realize that there's sometimes people don't have that straight path towards what they want to do. Sometimes you got to do X, Y, and Z to kind of get there. But you have to be patient. You have to be humble. You have to recognize that there's still a lot of work to do. And I feel like that last part is what screws a lot of people up, because sometimes they get complacent. They get something good, but they know that that's not necessarily where they want to end up. And then boom, they're kind of stuck, and then they lose their self. They lose themselves because they had that heart. They had that heart to progress forward, but then their heart also liked that current situation a little bit. And again, no harm to those people. We all know what we want out of life, and that was a complete lie. We sometimes don't know what we want out of life. And I could say, as now being 30, that I'm starting to piece this shit together. And I feel like that's why my YouTube channel is somewhat growing at a decent rate. I think that's why I spent so much years on Twitch. I think that's why, even though I went to school for music, I ended up not really pursuing anything in music of that nature. Is because you go through so much, and golly, if you are young, please just go to like community college or just like take a year or two off. It will save you so much money instead of going in, rushing into college, not really knowing what the hell you want to do, and then ending up in debt. Like, it's the stupidest thing, and I have no idea why parents force their kids. My dad didn't, or neither my dad nor mom forced me into college. I just assumed that that was the right thing to do, but it's parents that can also help you on that decision making. But I assume, just like a lot of people do when you live in America, you go to high school, you pass high school, you graduate, and you go straight into college. And it's starting to seem like that's just predatory. You don't need to go to college so quickly. School is always there. Education is always there. There are people, especially like these celebrities, that blow up, get so much money, and then they go back to school because education is important. I used to say, like, education is not important. No, you have to know what you're doing, no matter what. Even when it comes down to this, I have to edit every single one of these videos. I have over hundreds of videos on just one game. So I don't even want to count how many videos I have. I'm pretty sure there's an easy tab for me to find that out. I had to learn so much, and like the first video comparison to my more recent videos, but comparison to a video I spent more time on editing versus one that I didn't spend much time on editing. That's a lot. That's education. I had to take the time to learn how to work the programs. Take the time to learn my craft. Take the time to learn like what others are doing in my craft. Take the time to do all the stuff, and that's no different from studying a subject, going and taking tests. You know what a test is? Every time a content creator like me puts out a video is like a test. And whether or not that video does good or bad, depending on, a bunch of different parameters, that's how I know if I passed the test or not. Did I do a good job on the editing? Did I do that transition good enough? Did I add the music in? Damn, and sometimes, I'm not even lying. Sometimes I forget to add music into some of my things. Sometimes there's extra clips that I left in there and I didn't know that the extra clip in. So like it will be me talking and then like it will repeat itself, or there was a blank space because I edited it out and the space of time was so small amongst a bunch of actual content in the video editor that like there's like 2 minutes of blank space and people are like, yo, what the hell happened to my YouTube? Did it mess up? Like, no, I messed up. There's so many mistakes you can make, but obviously in school, if you make a bunch of mistakes, you just fail. But in other things, in passion, making a bunch of mistakes, depending on what they are, could not, you could ruin your career, of course. But most of the time you make a bunch of mistakes, you can just learn from them and just come back into the swing of things. And that's what I love about content creation, and that's what I love about following a dream and just being, in the creative process of just staying on top of things and just always looking for a way to improve. And I don't know, it feels healthy. It feels like when I was working at just jobs is that they didn't have that. Like, you can go, one of the biggest things is if I work for a job for a year, if I ever work for a job for a year and you get that yearly raise, and I would always see if like, was the yearly raise based on performance? And a lot of jobs, they're not. I mean, they are to a degree, but they're always going to give you something. Now, obviously, most people are like, you damn right, they better give me something. I've been working there for a year. But at the same time, if I was a crappy worker, or for said crappy workers in my same job, they're getting a pay increase just because the job needed them a little bit longer. But when I work hard in this, when I put out 2 or 3 videos a day, that benefits me greatly. And then I get rewarded through, people sharing the videos, people looking at it, stuff like that. But if you sometimes in jobs, you go that extra mile and your hard work from, February sometimes doesn't carry over into August, because it doesn't matter. Because that was cool that you did that back then, but it doesn't matter here. Right now, it didn't make any difference. And then your hard efforts are kind of erased as other things pop in and out. Again, that's somewhat that happens in content creation. I feel like you can still make more impact in doing something that you really care about because you put more effort into it. It's your baby. It's your dream. You're gonna put more effort into it than you are, working a job that you really don't care about. Another thing that I wanted to bring up is health. Holy God. I've been mostly overweight most of my life, going up and down and flip it around and things of that nature. But one thing that's been scaring the shit out of me is there's been a lot of people dying like around 30 years old. I think Etika, he committed suicide. He passed away at 29, if I'm not mistaken. A guy at Defender North, which is a fighting game tournament, he passed away. I think what they're saying was a heart attack, but he definitely, if you look at this man, his name was Crucial B. He passed away. I couldn't think that there's no way he was like over 38 years old. Even like 35, I would kind of throw a bone at that. So he had some health issues. And last but not least, holy English, Batman. Last but not least, another man by the name of Geoff, and I better know him as In Control, a StarCraft player. He passed away at 33, and it's kind of scary. And the reason why I'm saying it's scary is because I don't usually go to the doctor. Not that I'm living on the wild side and fuck, you don't need to go to the doctor. Your body will take care of you forever. No, that's stupid. But I just never would like to go to the doctor because I don't really like medicine, and I do somewhat agree of like getting addicted to medicine, people misdiagnosing you with stuff, and you know, that whole scary thing. I don't know, I just never wanted to really go into that. I felt like if I stayed up and up on reading enough about eating properly and exercising, that, you know, I would be okay. But the older I get and the more worrisome I get, that little bump on the knee, or that feeling when you wake up and your leg feels weird, or your neck hurts or something like that. It's like, oh, did I sleep wrong? Or is something actually wrong? One thing that I want to do is that I want to definitely go to a doctor within the next coming months, get some type of diagnosis, see where my levels are, see where everything is. And I suggest that you do the same thing too, because I feel like a lot of these people that I mentioned that passed away was literally because of stuff left unchecked. Even the one that I mentioned, Etika, who passed away because of suicidal, but I still feel like that's something to do with, you know, stuff being left unchecked. Mental health, physical health, all that shit. Maybe it's just that time that you just go and just get everything checked out. Maybe it's time to open some closets and talk to some people that you might have done wrong, or you know, or anything of that nature. Maybe it's time to do something more positive. Maybe take a risk. Talk to that girl you've been avoiding all this time, or talk to that guy that you've been avoiding all this time, you know, stuff of that nature. Maybe it's time to quit that job. I always fear telling people to quit their job because it's such a financial risk unless you have something backed up. But mental health is important, and I've always preached it in my other videos about quitting my job, is that was one of the main reasons why I left. Even though it's financially stupid to do it, I also have realized as I've gotten older that I don't want to be the guy in the news. I don't want to be the guy that's holding people up at gunpoint, or blah blah blah, man assaults his coworkers or assaults his clients or something like that, just because I'm a frustrated black man. I'll even throw that in there because, you know, I don't, you know, that's a stereotype, right? You know, angry black man or angry black woman. You know, I don't want to be the guy that's just angry, because I can care less about, you know, race or stuff like that. But, you know, I don't want to be the guy that's just angry and that's causing a ruckus and doing something crazy, because that's what happens. You sit there and you accept that you can't do better than your current situation. You drive yourself insane, and then you take it out on others because you think that there is no other choice. There's no other option. And that's what I think happens, and that's what I personally think happens when people do crazy stuff that you see on the news, and when you see people that are unhappy in relationships and they just do crazy stuff to their spouses. And I've even seen and heard of stories when people are so unhappy that they do stuff to their kids, and, you know, into pets and things of that nature. And it's just stemming from unhappiness. And I really think that people need to start thinking about that life is not so shut in as you may think it is. You have so many opportunities and chances to stop stupid shit that's going on in your life and start great shit that, you know, most people know what would be good for them. They have a good idea, they know what's bad, but sometimes they just are so used to the bad that they would sacrifice the risk of going for something that they think might be good for them, because they know that the bad, I know how to handle it. I don't know. That's what I do, is like when I'm fat, you know, because I'd be like, well, you know, I could eat all this healthy stuff, but, you know, I kind of know how to be fat. I know, you know, I'll stay around this weight even though I want to lose weight, not just maintain it. you know, we all make excuses. And, you know, that's one thing I learned, that we all make excuses. We know that change is hard. That's why people say they're scared of change. You know, it's kind of true. You don't want to take these big risks and it not work out. AKA, you start eating better, you start working out, but you don't see the immediate gratification. And then, like, pretty much you're like, oh God, you know, screw it, I'm just going to eat a pizza. Screw it, I'm just going to have some ice cream, you know, whatever your bad eating habits are. Screw it, I'm going to stay in this relationship. What's the worst that can happen? You know, I go out and then I love it. Like, people will say this shit and I think it's crazy. It's like, I'd rather stay in this bad relationship because there's no way I can find someone better than my currently bad person that I'm with. Logic. But like, that's the shit that I'm talking about. We throw ourselves in so many loops, and then only time that you'll ever get out is when you first start to say, I am better than this, I deserve better than this, and then you step forward, and then all of a sudden you look at the world differently. So when I do this shit, when I'm out here making these videos, know for a fact that this is me taking my step forward. And that's why I preach it, because I hope that it's you guys willing to take that step forward. And I'm sure my friend's dad, Pastor Senpai, I'm pretty sure that he had to eventually make that step forward to say, hey, I gotta open up the opportunity to become a pastor. Just the same way I have to open up my opportunities to become a content creator. Same way that you have to open up your possibilities and opportunities to do something that you like. You have to sacrifice some stuff. It could be friends, family, a job that you're currently working for. I mean, sacrifice properly. I mean, this is, you know, life is like chess. You know, sometimes you gotta throw something else out there. You know, throw the pawn out there, 1-2 pawns, and then you hit them with the okie doke. You know, why am I talking about chess? I've never shown chess on this channel, but if you guys know chess, sometimes, you know, you set somebody up and then all of a sudden you got them with the chessy dexy mate. You know, that's kind of what life is. Sometimes you have to throw other things away to gain other things, and it sounds shitty because sometimes people don't want to hear they have to get rid of a friend. That sounds terrible, doesn't it? Like, but sometimes that friend or that family member, that job, those coworkers, those people that you're around a lot, you know, they're not good for you. And as you get older, you'll realize when you remove those things, you'll see that your life has gotten better. It's the same thing like eating healthy. Once you start eating better, your whole body feels that stuff. Because when you eat bad, as I've been doing recently, my body feels like shit. So when I know once I'm gonna get back on the right track, I know what it's like when you eat healthy. You have more energy, you have, you know, so much better things going for you, you feel it. But when you start eating bad constantly, you feel it. Your body, I don't know about you guys, my body feels disgusting. And it's that momentary, you know, satisfaction is not worth like waking up and like, ugh, like, oh God. So I hope these analogies are working for you, because I have no idea. I've learned so much being older, and a lot of it is just stuff that I realized for a while, but as you get older, they get solidified for you. And sometimes for people, it's more or less they just realize it, because like I said, age is not that important. It's not about the age, it's when you learn these lessons. Some people might learn these lessons in their 20s, some people mid-20s, 30s, 35. Some people, I could be making this video at 35 years old, like, man, I done realized that some people are just bad for you. So I don't know, however long it takes you to do it, you know, I feel like the younger you can do it, the better. And some people are really good at it. Some people can know how to find what's bad in their lives, or sometimes they have really good friends, really good parents. I don't know. I don't even know how often, like, you know, my dad would tell me, like, you know, you got to get away from those people. And I would tell me, you know, when my dad would tell me stuff like that, I would be like, what are you talking about? You know. But I had friends steal from me before. I remember every time I had people do something wrong to me, I would always think back, and my dad would always, you know, he used to tell me when I was younger, then he would always say, you got to stop worrying about all these other people and just, you know, get on your grind. And that's something that I didn't start doing until like my late 20s. And I started realizing that there's a lot of people that are just doing shit, because we're all doing shit. We don't know what the hell we want to do. But when you start figuring out that, you need to start doing that. And the people that fuck with you heavy, they'll know what you're doing. They'll probably either want to be a part of it, or they just want to, you know, be a supportive ear, supportive hand, eye, whatever. You know, they'll just be supportive. Not everyone wants to be in the mix. And that's another thing that you guys that are pursuing careers, it's something that you're supposed to be doing. It's not something that your friends have to be doing with it. You're supposed to find like-minded individuals. I've said this a lot of times also. You know, don't ask your friends and don't expect your friends to be at every show and be at every stream and, you know, be there holding your hand through your college courses or your work day and stuff like that. I always say that it's cool if your friend is a fan of you, but I consider my friends that if I blow up, I'm not the type of person that's like, oh, bro, where was you at when I was... No, that's my friend. I'm going to make sure my friend is good if I get rich or something like that. That's my friend. He doesn't have to watch every freaking thing that I do. I find that silly. That's just me. As long as they're supportive, as to me as a person, that's all that matters. Obviously, backstabbing, BS like that. Even though he's my friend and he talks behind my back, I'm going to hook him up with $1 million or something. No, that's not how that works. But that's all I'm pretty much got to say. I don't know how I'm going to edit this. This is like, oh my God, 30 minutes. This video won't be 30 minutes by the time I'm done with it. Because I got to edit out my oops, to boops, scoops and scoops, loops and loops and stuff like that. But for those people that are also wondering the direction of the channel, because every time I do a video like that, we are currently at 1,700 subscribers here on YouTube, which is awesome. So if you're one of the people that are watching this and just like, damn, I want to support this guy, he's so dope, but I don't have any money. You don't have to spend money. Just spread the video. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, smack the bell, assault the bell, whatever the hell you want to say with the bell. Don't tell me what you do with the bell, but whatever you want to do, you could do that of that nature, and it's very simple to support people if you do want to support this channel. I do have a story for you guys, another story. I got a couple stories actually, so let me know if you guys want to hear some stories. But I know a lot of the content on this channel is gaming related, so I don't want to drive you guys up a wall with, you know, non-gaming stuff. But I thought it would be nice to talk about me turning 30. So anyway, remember one very important, special, super fantastical rule is that every day at the Kashino is your lucky day. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.